Hey guys, Doug Miller with Grosse Savanne Lodge. The last time you saw us on Xpress Outdoors, Bill and I was up on Kentucky Lake in Paris, Tennessee, grinding it out. Today, we're on my home waters at Grosse Savanne, and we're gonna whack them today.
The bite was horrible there.
That's
I think
right.
we caught what, 5?
No, I caught that
6?
many by myself.
Oh, come on.
At least.
So is it gonna live up to the reputation here? We're gonna catch more than 5?
I think so. See, we've already gone too far without a bite. Getting nervous already.
Come on now. Uh-oh. Hooked up.
All right, we broke the ice now.
So the last opportunity I got to see Bill was up on Kentucky Lake following the elite event up there. And since then, Bill had gone to Lake Travis and had a top 50 and then moved on to Savanne and actually had a top 25. All those tournaments were grinds for him. You know, there wasn't a lot of fish caught, although he did well. So with him being right here at the Savanne, only 45 minutes away from Grosse Savanne, it was a perfect opportunity for him to continue rolling on and catch a bunch of fish.
Oh, I got that one now. They're not big here. How about like that? Oh, he ate it. Yeah, we were resorting to the wacky worm already.
Seriously, right now?
Yeah, I wouldn't just, this is nothing.
I'm hiding one.
Just another chunk.
Well, I'm feeling one. One or the other.
I only brought one pack.
One pack.
That's it for me.
It's gonna be a long day, boys.
So Bill and I have been fishing all of about 10 minutes this morning, and we've missed quite a few fish on a swim jig this morning. They were hitting it short. We'd get a hook in them, but we'd lose them real quick. So I picked up a wacky worm, something we can keep slow and just let it sit over their head, and it seems to be working. We've caught 2 or 3 good ones right here. Basically, we're just fishing this is the 5-inch Strike King Ocho. We got a little O-ring and a small Gamakatsu hook that we got a little weed guard on to keep the grass off of it. We're hoping as the morning progresses, the wind will pick up a little bit, start blowing through these cuts, and those fish like to key in on those wind currents. When that happens, hopefully we can start catching them on some other baits.
Uh-oh.
Getting
10
better?
pounder.
Getting better?
10 pounder, baby.
Seems like every time one of us sits down and ties a bait, that's when we catch one, huh? Is that the pattern? Fish one at a time?
Aha.
Oh, you get a little bigger.
Long and skinny. Here's a little tip for you guys at home. When it gets hot, the water temperatures get hot, things get tough, get you out a little finesse worm and some light line.
No.
Doug, what would be the main forage in here? I mean, I know a lot of places I go to, there's shad and gizzards and thread fins and stuff like that, but I would assume nothing like that's in here.
What we do have here naturally is crawfish.
Lots of bass.
And lots of bass and crawfish. If you look, a lot of these bass will have whiskers hanging out their mouths. And
well, look, if you're in Louisiana and you ain't got crawfish, something's wrong, man.
that's right. All right.
You got tons of bass.
Yep.
I mean, you come to a place like this where you can double up. We've been fishing for 10 minutes and I don't know how many we've already caught.
Yep.
You know, every time we come to a cut, you hear Doug talking about, get ready.
Hated to interrupt you, Bill. What was that tip?
Nice. That's what I'm talking about.
What was that tip? There's one of them good ones.
That's a nice fish, buddy.
He's long and skinny. That was a wise choice to pick the swim jig back up. So before we were rudely interrupted by that 5-pounder,
yeah.
What was you telling us?
I was saying, you're gonna hear Doug talk about every time we come to one of these entrances that you should get a bite there, okay? So what happens is, in a system like we're in here, there's no current. I mean, there's no influx of water that comes into this lake. So anytime you get a wind blowing in a place like this, it makes what we call a false current. That wind will actually create a current, comes through these canals, and it sets them bass up. So you know exactly where they're gonna be. And as you saw what just happened, Doug got him a good one. And it seems like every time we come to one of these canals, we can get a bite. So remember that when you're on your home lake, even though it doesn't have any current in it, when that wind starts blowing, there's gonna be some current. On main lake points, docks, whatever it may be, there will be some current from the wind.
Oh, come on.
How these guys are, man, they just bring you to their personal stocked lake and only bring a couple of the right lures. This ain't right. Then they'll be like, oh, here, throw this worm. It's a great color here. As he's reeling in another one. I'm only getting a bite like every 10 casts. He's getting a bite like every 4. We're gonna fix that problem here in a little bit.
When you get a guy that's so passionate about his sport and about his livelihood like Bill is, it's really exciting to get him to a place like Grosse, Savanne, because a lot of times these guys are just fishing for 5 bites.
Whoa, he blew that one up. That's a little chunk.
Doug catches a 5-pounder. I'll catch a 2.5. Got a bait that I know they haven't seen. Little PH Custom Lures plopping pea. What you got, man?
Wow, I can't catch up with him. Jeez, he's running like a redfish.
You got redfish in it?
No.
2.5-pounder. Whoop.
Trying to catch up with him.
Wacky.
Look at that one. Yeah, and they typically don't do well in a big grassy environment, so I think they've been replaced, and there's still a few, but between the brim and the crawfish, and I think that's been the key to the success of Miller's Lake is the fact that, I mean, look at it, it's a jungle out here of vegetation, and so everything's got a place to hide, and the bait has a place to live and survive, and it just functions on its own, you know, it's not like a big open water lake. That fish wouldn't have happened to have been right there, would he?
See that? Go catch my fish. He's the guide, but what I do is I point him out, they come after my bait, and he catches them. That's how we work, it's a team.
Oh.
Just like that. Lovely fish haul.
Dude, I saw him come up, that was cool. At the top of the mountain, good fish. That's why I missed him.
That is a Bill Lowen special. Long as the worm.
Just a chunk. Little popping perch fish. You know, I don't know, I think we've been fishing pretty fast this morning. Like I just towel him down and let that bait sit on the edge and he ate it. Maybe we need to slow things down. That's a good one.
So as we continued to fish, you know, it was really dead calm, it was hot, and the fish were a little reluctant to hit top and they were a little reluctant to hit the swim jig. But boy, that wacky worm, when it fell in front of their face, they couldn't help it. They had to eat it.
The wacky rig brings 1 bag of them. 1 bag.
Did I tell you about my wacky worm? Oh, man.
I'm gonna bite your line. Can I tell you about my wacky worm?
Stay tuned for more wacky worm action on part 2 of Xpress Outdoors with Bill Lowen and Grosse, Savanne.